did you guys get to watch AEW last night?
Yes.
All right. Well, let me tell you my situation here. Okay. I did not get to watch the show. I had to go and watch a couple of clips. You know why?
Why?
On Hulu, okay, where it said, I have my whole little library of AEW Dynamite. It said AEW Dynamite, Season 6, Episode 1, whatever. And I turned it on, and you know what it was?
What?
The Avengers movie.
Really?
Nice.
The first year, but on Hulu last night, they instead of AEW Dynamite, what was listed as AEW Dynamite was the Avengers movie. All right. So what I did was I looked through the show and I went online. I found some clips of the stuff I wanted to watch, so we can talk about this. All right.
All right.
Because all right.
Did you see the new intro with the new intro song?
Yeah. Did you, Konnan? What do you think about that?
I'm so excited. I don't think that's a song that should be for your, that's like a song if you're in a club and you're celebrating. And here's the other thing, bro, they showed in that opening video Shaq, like if he was part of the roster.
Snoop
and,
too.
And they showed Snoop, and then they showed the Costco guys. I'm like, what?
Dude, when I heard the song, okay, they literally, you know what they could have done? Play the song, I'm so excited you're playing that song, okay? You show a TV set in a nursing home, and AEW Dynamite is on, and all the old 70s people in the nursing home are up, doing their old people dance. I'm so excited. I was like, dude, for a guy for a company that talks about like data, like Tony's a data analyst, it's like, what analytics are telling you that is like a song that you should put on?
Yeah, plus not only that, they've had cool songs in the past, like November Rain and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, or the one that, remember Orange Cassidy's first song? I forgot.
The Pixies, Where's My Mind?
Yeah, that was good. But this
is very odd.
This is brutal.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so they open up the show, and then they a little bit similar to what WWE is doing. They're showing the people showing up to the show. They showed Okada. They listed the matches, and John Moxley spoke about his enemies, talking about what they want to do, but that's not what happens when the bullets start flying. It's his typical promo where he says, he rejects the idea that he's a rebel because rebels have an authority they are fighting against, and no one has authority over him. He called himself a king, and he was showed that to rated FTR later on in the show. Then later on, after that, FTR said they were fighting for Western North Carolina tonight. Good cause. Adam Copeland said he saw fear in Moxley's eyes at World's End, and he would demonstrate what he had to fear later tonight. So they're setting that up, and then Orange Cassidy wrestles Adam Page. Okay, so these
Before
guys.
You get to that, let me just say this: I was watching something on HBO Max this week, and bro, they gave AEW a lot of promotion.
Right.
Okay, and I will say I don't know if they got, because I'm not that qualified to speak on this. I don't know if they invested more money in production, but the lighting seemed a little brighter, like different little camera angles. I don't know if they have a new guy in there, but it just felt like production-wise, it was a little bit more sharper than usual.
Oh, perfect example. Okay, so what did we talk about? Bro, if you're getting all this money in the TV rights deals, what's the first thing you should be spending it on?
Right.
Improving your production. Okay, so if that could possibly be a byproduct of them getting the rights deal. And also, too, I didn't get to see the show, but as I read it, bro, they had a lot of packages on this show, huh?
Yeah.
Like recapping stuff. Who's been saying that? Okay, right. So 2 positive changes right off the bat. Okay, so they do Hangman Page against Cassidy, and they were like partners for a while, but then they're in that 4-way at the World's End, whatever. But Cassidy, who never loses, all right, got beat with a buckshot Larry, got beat clean, and after the match, Page, and then he punched up Christopher Daniels in the face. What'd you think of this? Because Cassidy got beat down and got beat up.
Well, the match was good. I felt that for 2 guys that don't like each other as much as they do, there was a lot of intensity showing like a lot of hate. I was very surprised because Orange Cassidy hit him with the orange punch twice, which is his finish, and this guy ended up beating him clean. Okay. Right. And another thing that surprised me is because there's always a run-in at the end. The Death Riders didn't come in or nobody came in. They just let him get heat, which was good.
Right.
So as far as the production went, just so you guys know real quick, the report is that Warner Brothers Discovery told AEW that this Dynamite needed to be a major one for advertising purposes, which led to the production improvement. per fight.
Well, they got money. They need to be spending. We know what they need to be spending money on. The other,
not just for the first show, for every show.
right? For every show, they need a better look. If it looks, there's less fans in WWE by far, and the show looks less professional. And if they want to compete, I don't even know if they want to compete. But if they do want to compete, that's the first thing they need to do. So Jay White cut a promo backstage, blaming Wheeler Yuta on losing at World's End. Said words can't do it justice, but he would show you Yuta Moxley how he feels about it soon and address his match with Swerve Strickland and Roderick Strong. Said he wouldn't allow them to be obstacles on his way back to the Casino Gauntlet match in the AEW World Championship. The Acclaim come out. They're arguing. Bowens asked Caster if he intentionally cost his match against Jericho. He denied it. Caster then said he was focused and he wasn't going for last night. And they would drop the mic on the Hurt Syndicate. So they wrestled the Hurt Syndicate, Lashley and Sheldon. And P said he had no interest in Ricochet joining the Hurt Syndicate on commentary. That was interesting. So they beat them pretty quick here, and Caster gets beat. And after the match, Bowens called Caster a selfish while Lashley celebrated. So they're just going all in on them. Like, they're doing the New Day gimmick. I mean, period. I mean, it's just, come on. It's like, whatever. So what do you think of this, Konnan?
Well, yeah, they've been teasing this for a while, and now, they've spent a good time on it. So as far as storyline, I like this because I like Caster as a heel.
Right, me too.
But Bowens got mad because Caster tagged himself in, so he jumped off the thing and let Lashley Spearman put on the Hurt Lock.
Right.
Here's the thing. This was basically an angle that was basically disguised as a match because the only thing they were trying to show here was the dissension.
Right.
But people are starting to applaud the Hurt Syndicate because they look cool and they just beat everybody.
Yeah, how could you boo these guys? So Swerve said he apologized to his fans for not being focused lately. Said he'd get back on the path to becoming world champion. Said he'd never been in a Casino Gauntlet match before, and they reminded him, that's because you were the champion. It's like, oh. Jamie Hayter against Julia Hart, and this went like 10 minutes, and Hart put mist in her eyes because she's like evil and stuff. Bro, that gimmick is like hysterical because like she doesn't do any like facials or anything to like
anything that
menacing or
right.
Just like they're like,
Yeah, she's like random white girl number 5 who just happens to have some mist in her mouth.
Right.
But the only thing I can tell you about this match, and I'll be short about it, I wasn't that interested because I like Hayter, I like her promos, and I like her in-ring, and I like her character. I don't like Julia's character or in-ring.
So they showed a video package recapping Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay's whole relationship, and they also showed a video package recapping Kazuchika Okada's Continental Classic title win and Kenny Omega's return. And said Kenny Omega will return next week on Dynamite. Interesting. Then they did a pre-recorded Okada promo, and he gloated about defeating Ospreay and being the best tournament wrestler in the world. And he questioned how many times he had to beat Omega and told him to stay out of his business. Like I said, bro, they have potential here for these promos to do some character development, and all these guys ever do is talk about the match they have coming up,
Right.
And it's very generic. So I didn't see this, but I heard people online were saying this was not good. Mercedes Moné made her entrance in a dress, and she made a claim about being the greatest TBS champion of all time and introduced a video package that showed her 2024 highlights. She then said her first stop in 2025 was the Tokyo Dome. Hang on, I just lost my spot here. Was the Tokyo Dome, and it was Tokyo Dome in her match with Mina Shirakawa. And she mentioned her New Japan Strong Women's Championship would be on the line, and Mina had gold she wanted in the Rev Pro Women's Championship. Like, she's actually talking about the Rev Pro Women's Championship. And, well, how did this get over? I heard it was not a very good.
Well, here's the problem with Moné. She's become kind of redundant. Even though when she wrestles, she has good matches, but her character is very redundant. She's not entertaining, like, let's say, a Kevin Owens or a MJF or a Christian. She's just not entertaining. The best part of her thing, and she's always, the best part of her thing is her gear and what color and design is in her hair. And I almost feel like Tony's like, I'm paying her too much money. She has to be out there every show. Plus she has name value, but she isn't really doing much.
Let me give you the pal's take. Mercedes Moné feels like she's just going through the motions out there right now. I know it's tough to make people excited about a match they likely won't be able to watch without a considerable effort, but her words just don't have any weight to them right now.
It's either her writer, the Pepperman, Will Washington, or Tony Khan, whatever they're writing for her, it's not clicking, and she's not doing herself any favors either because she's not that entertaining.
Right. So then we go to Swerve Strickland versus Jay. Well, first of all, they did a backstage promo with Dax Harwood to talk about the hurricane in Nashville. Then Roderick Strong was interviewed by Alex Marvez and Kyle O'Reilly and Cole with him, and they celebrated the Undisputed Era being fully back together. But it would be every man for themselves in the Casino Gauntlet match. So Swerve versus Jay White versus Roderick Strong for the number one entrant in the Casino Gauntlet match. Okay? And this thing got to, what do you call it? Jay White, Ricochet popped. Oh, but Jay White, so this is what I saw. So Ricochet popped up on the floor and decked Swerve while holding a pair of scissors in his hand. And Jay White won the match. So after the match, Swerve was shown to be busted open on the floor, and then Ricochet jumped over the barricade with the scissors in his hand. Nana tried to intervene, but Ricochet walked him off, and then Ricochet then walked over to Swerve and jabbed the scissors into his head and punched him several times. Then Ricochet's white shirt ended up splashed with Swerve's blood. Nana tried to stop him, but Ricochet shoved him into the steps and hit him over the back with a chair. He landed some headbutts to Swerve in the ring and placed him on the chair, and then backed up into the corner and delivered a spirit gun to a helpless Swerve. The Undisputed Kingdom then ran down and intervened to prevent further damage and ran off Ricochet, who laughed maniacally. What did you think about the way Ricochet turned here? Because this is kind of a very...
Well, first of all, let me say all of these three guys can go, but they have different styles, but they made it work. But, bro, the Ricochet angle stole the match. I mean, it overshadowed the match. I mean, he ran out of the crowd, hit him in the head with a pair of scissors, but, you know, you could tell when he was holding the scissor, and this is just me with a clinical eye, that, you know, he was protecting him with his hand. Like you never saw the tip of the scissor. Even after he finished attacking him, he should have had the tip of the scissors coming out of his hand, so you think he hit him with the tip. But it's kind of weird, bro, because Disco,
yeah,
like you saw in WWE, they did the pile driver, right?
Right.
And, you know, usually the person sells it for a while, sometimes even missing a show, right?
Right.
And if you put your hands on an authority figure, you get fined. Okay. Right. Here I've seen people get stabbed with the scissor, with the screwdriver, the hypodermic needle, trying to pour poison. I mean, and there's never any repercussions.
So backstage, Jarrett and his crew were interviewed by Alex Marvez and said it was a big night for him, and that's where Karen was. And she showed up and said they met because of the wrestling business, but it also nearly broke him at times. And she told him that they were unbreakable. Whatever he wanted is what she wanted, because he's going to have an announcement later.
Okay, give me 1 second. All right.
Okay. So the Mariah May
MJF thing?
Not yet. I hadn't gotten that yet. Mariah May put on a fake smile and said she was happy with the women's division, said she had the most matches out of anyone last year, and nobody else was even in the top 10. May said they were all faking injuries and forgetting who they are, and said they would have to work for it if they wanted a chance to be on her level again. So then Jarrett makes his entrance for his announcement. He left a pair of boots.
Let me just say something about May.
Yeah?
She's good all the way around. Good promos, good look, good in-ring, good everything.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. In the arena, Jarrett made his announcement. He left a pair of boots in the center of the ring and had a red guitar stood up on a stand. Said a lot of emotions have washed over him the past few days. The first one is gratitude. He said it was sad for him to think of the thing coming to an end, but that reminded him how it all began. He recalled his grandma taking a second job selling wrestling tickets, and it changed his father's life and his life forever. Said the risk she took paved the way for her to become the CFO of the Tennessee wrestling territory, and then his father bought it and promoted it in Tennessee for 40 years. He recalled dropping out of school to start his wrestling career and later made a bet on himself in 2002 to start his own promotion that went on to produce some of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. He picked up his boots and asked if the last outlaw should just ride off into the sunset, and the answer is hell no. He then announced that the biggest risks in life have resulted in the biggest rewards, and that's why he just signed his final talent contract with AEW. He continued and said he wanted to take the big risks and go after AEW Gold. He addressed the Gauntlet match next week and said he wanted to be in it because his goal is to become AEW World Champion. He acknowledged he could fall flat in his face, but he's willing to risk it for one last ride. But Jeff is not retiring. He's going to enter the Gauntlet match.
Did you see this?
Yeah, it's a good promo, I thought.
Yeah, it was a good promo, but to me, then this is just me. When he went out with the boots, that to me was a red flag that he wasn't retiring instead of
Right.
having it a bag and surprising everybody. So, but the more he went into his speech, the more people were getting into it.
Right.
Like, don't
Hey,
retire.
it's a good promo. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They show video footage of Hook defeating Nick Wayne on Rampage and said, Hook hopes Christian is having a bad start of the year and told me he wasn't finished with him. He told Christian to go ask Nick Wayne what Nick Wayne was like to get locked in the Red Room because he would finish the job in 2 weeks. So Powerhouse Hobbs, for some reason, just had a handicap match against two guys and beat him. After the match, Big Bill and Brian Keith said Asheville wasn't good enough for Jericho to show. Well, actually, that was it. I didn't see this, but he just beat them. That was the whole segment, just a squash match?
Yeah. It was two guys, too.
Right. So after the match, they go to Big Bill and Brian Keith said Asheville wasn't good enough for Jericho to show up. So FTR was in the background. They walked over to trash talk with them. Then Adam Copeland said Keith was lame and told Big Bill his face was stupid and challenged a learning tree to a match with rated FTR in Charlotte at Collision on Saturday. All right. So the MJF thing. So they show him backstage after World's End. He said the Better Than You Bebe chapter of his career is over. And it's time for a new chapter. He said his Triple B was taken from him unfairly, and now somebody claiming to be a king is walking around with it in a briefcase. He asked what use God has for a king and said he would get his due in 2025 and said he had no problem with Moxley and didn't care if he burned the company to the ground, but he wanted his title back and would get it no matter who was holding it. What did you think of this promo?
Very good. He showed a range of emotions. And depending on how this Happy Gilmore, too, where he's playing Adam Sandler's son, how good he looks there, he could be successful in Hollywood.
So then they go to the main event, the six-man Cope and Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler against Moxley.
Cope. Wait 1 second.
Cope. His name is Cope now. Basically, they go 6-man, 18 minutes, a lot of carnage on this. FTR delivered the Shatter Machine to take a wild guess who's taking the pin here.
Yeah.
And Utah got the loss, and afterwards, FTR just celebrated in front of their hometown as the show went off the air. So no hook or nothing for the next show.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this nickname Cope.
Right.
I don't know why he doesn't just keep using the name he has with the FTR. What is it? Rated
FTR. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot better. But out of everything, Cope, the best part of this match was when him and Moxley were face to face, because I think it's the first time they'd met in AEW.
Right.
Let me just say this about the show. I thought that triple threat match was good. The one with Swerve and White. And the main event was, those are probably the two best things on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they're setting up to Copeland and Moxley, and you still got Christian Cage, waiting for he has a contract that he can cash in at any time. And now FJF also wants the world title. So that could be very interesting.
Yeah, so kind of an underwhelming show for me. I didn't really. I guess they have it on. I got to get HBO Max now if I want to watch the replays of this because it's all over HBO Max. So I don't.
Right. Yeah, and they gave him a lot of promotion.
Yeah, if they're going to screw that up.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content, and being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones, and thank you for picking us. Boom.